Hey everyone, Andrew back again with another Blu-ray horror update, and pretty awesome update because these are all slashers except for one film which I will be showcasing last. But yeah, it's been a while since I've picked up a ton of slashers, so pretty excited to show you guys what I have picked up recently, and this was all one big order from Amazon.com. A thank you goes out to Scott. I won a $25 gift card from him. So that basically prompted me to finally place another order with Amazon. It's been a while, and that definitely did help with a few of these titles. But before I get into showcasing the films, I'm wanting to give a quick shout out to a fairly new channel that I've just discovered called 80s Horror Fan 88. He's a guy from the UK and his content's really good. So I'll be leaving his channel link in the description box below. He's got a really good collection of horror figures, and yeah, he's been spending a lot of time recently picking up new figurines, so definitely check him out. As I said, his link will be left in the description box. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get on to the movies. Okay, so first up we have Stalker, and this was a slasher film that I had never heard of before. It just came up in one of my searches when I was on Amazon. It was nice and cheap, so I decided to give it a go. I know nothing about this movie. I have no idea whether it's any good or not. The only thing I know about this movie is what I've read from the synopsis. The synopsis does sound pretty good, pretty standard for a slasher movie, I guess. Now this particular release, I've heard it's not the best. I've heard it's basically just a VHS copy put on a Blu-ray disc, so I'm not really expecting anything special at all from the transfer. But I'm always a big fan of picking up these more obscure slashers that I'd never heard of, and it's been a while since I've come across one that I either have never heard of or that I don't own, so this was a nice pickup. I'm looking forward to checking it out, but if anyone has seen Stalker, please let me know what you think of it. Next up we have Lake Nowhere, and I'm pretty late to the party on this. This has been on my Amazon wishlist for quite a few years now. It's been out for a while. Really solid release. It's a really nice release actually. It's a 2-disc set. Again, another slasher film. It's really short. I don't even think it ran for an hour. Probably my favourite thing about this film was actually the whole sort of VHS look and feel this movie had throughout. It sort of had like a lot of the grain and flickering like a VHS tape has, and it even actually had one part where it was made out that someone actually accidentally recorded over the movie for a couple of seconds. If you guys grew up on VHS like I did, you know there were times where you'd accidentally record over something. Yeah, so that was a nice little feature. The main thing that pulled me out of this movie was the Evil Dead element that was included in this film, as well as the main slasher element. I felt that that really wasn't needed. I thought the movie would have been a lot better if they'd just solely focused on the slasher element, but for the type of low budget movie it was, for the most part, they did a really good job, and I did enjoy it for the most part, apart from that one element that I mentioned. So yeah, if you've never seen this before, I definitely recommend it, especially for the VHS sort of retro transfer that this movie had going on. It was really cool, something different, and yeah, overall this release is really good. Next up we have Frightmare from 1974, and Wayne, or Retro Horror, actually prompted me to finally getting around to picking this one up. It's been one that I've heard on off and on since I've really got into collecting, and I kind of forgot about it. So Wayne, thanks a lot, because this one was really good. It was a lot more tamer than I was expecting, and I kind of wish that they'd focused a little bit more on the Dorothy character. She was basically the old lady killer in this, and she was absolutely fantastic. She was really creepy, really awesome character. It did have some pretty nice gore and kill scenes, especially for a movie from the 70s. All the characters were good, the storyline was pretty good, it kept me interested. But as I said, I kind of wish that they'd focused a little bit more on Dorothy rather than her daughter. But other than that, this was a really, really good proto-slasher. Next up we have the Funhouse Massacre, and this was awesome. If you guys don't know what this is about, basically it's a slasher film set in a amusement park or fun house during Halloween. And it basically centres around a bunch of serial killers who have escaped from a asylum. They all portray completely different wacky characters. And this was basically what I was expecting Rob Zombie's 31 to be, but this was a hell of a lot better than that. They're kind of both similar movies in a way. But yeah, as I said, this was fantastic. It had a pretty high body count and some absolutely awesome characters and really, really awesome kills. So I definitely recommend this one. This was really good. Okay, and the next bunch of movies are all upgrades from my DVDs, which is always good. So we have Carrie Fools, which is a Scream Factory release, and I really like the cover art on this one. It's been ages since I've seen this film, so I don't really remember it too well. I'm not usually a big fan of the late 90s, early 2000s sort of teeny bopper slasher films, so yeah, we'll see. I'll have to give this one another rewatch at some point because, as I said, I don't really remember too much about it, but all the same, glad to finally upgrade my DVD copy. Next up we have Don't Answer the Phone, and this is a really, really nice release from Vinegar Syndrome. Great release, in fact. Has some good special features. It's a 2-disc set and it even comes with a booklet. So really, really happy to see this get a nice Blu-ray release, and as I said, another upgrade from my DVD. Next up we have Kellogg Workout, or it's also known as Aerobicide, and this is a slasher video release. It's been around for a while now. I picked this one up nice and cheap off local eBay actually, which was cool, because I have been wanting to upgrade my DVD for a while. Now I actually know this isn't technically much of an upgrade because it's just basically a conversion from DVD, but still it's nice to have it on Blu-ray all the same, and the cover art is pretty awesome. Okay, and the last two titles are both from the Vestron line. I'm not really interested in everything they've released, but the next two movies I definitely wanted to pick up. So as you can see, we have Chopping Mall. These are pretty nice releases, although I kind of think they skimped out a little bit with the cheap eco cases, especially given the prices of these releases, but still it's great to have these movies on Blu-ray. I think all of them are from Lionsgate, and Lionsgate have been holding out on a lot of their movies getting Blu-ray releases, so this line's cool. So yeah, Chopping Mall, it's a great movie. I consider it a slasher. I consider it a mechanical slasher because it does sort of have killer robots, and it does have a like the slasher elements to it about a group of people getting picked off, trapped in a mall. You know what it is. I'm sure everyone has seen this movie. It's a great film. I haven't checked it out on Blu-ray yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to doing so. And last but certainly not least, we have The Gate, and I was absolutely ecstatic when this actually got released on Blu-ray. Now, I actually own a fan-made bootleg of this film on Blu-ray already, and that's not an official release. I've had it for a while. I've done a separate video on it actually, and while the transfer is pretty good on that, the transfer on this is fantastic. So if you're looking to upgrade your DVD of The Gate, which I highly recommend, this release is top-notch from a transfer standpoint. I was very, very impressed. I was not really expecting it to look as good as it does actually, but yeah, this looks amazing. One of my favourite 80s films. I'm glad that this one got released on Blu-ray because I've always considered it to be fairly underrated, especially next to a lot of other 80s horror films. But yeah, really, really nice release. I'm glad they went with the original artwork on the slipcover. Always been a big fan of the artwork. But yeah, really happy to finally see this film released on Blu-ray. It would have been nice if they'd also included the sequel, but they didn't. But yeah, I definitely highly recommend this release. The transfer is amazing. Alrighty, so that does it for another Blu-ray update. Let me know what you think of the titles that I've picked up in the comments section below. Also, make sure to head on over and check out and subscribe to 80s Horror Fan 88. I will be leaving his link in the description box. Also, thank you to Scott for the $25 Amazon gift card. It definitely prompted this purchase and this update. So thanks a lot for that. Anyway guys, that does it for another update. I hope you've enjoyed it and thank you for watching.